This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
This is episode 679 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast for September 9th, 2025. Hey everyone, it is me again, Lee. I am your host again because Chris, Tracy and Michelle I might just sack them at this point. You don't need them anymore because I have three much better people in Kenneth, Amy and Becky returning from last week. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Last week we said let's meet again right here this time next week.
Absolutely.
Even though it's still the same night. I don't care. Right.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's a whole week later. You loved us this much that you said, Amy, you have to come back.
Okay, fair
Thank
enough.
you.
For sure.
Yes.
And if Lee didn't say it, I would.
All right.
Exactly.
So
Becky and Kenneth are awesome.
Aw,
They are.
thank you. We love you too.
So yeah, we're going to go through another one of our submitted by the Producers Club, their Universal Orlando hot takes stroke unpopular opinions. So I'm going to get my guest host here to pick a number between 1 and 20. And as I said to them there just before we started recording, there are 20 people's submissions, but each person may have submitted more than one hot take unpopular opinion. So we'll see how many we get through. We didn't get through many at all last time because there was some interesting discussion. So, Amy, do you want to pick me a number between 1 and 20, please?
Between 1 and 20, 13.
Oh, that would have been Tracy's number. Let's have a look. Number 13 is...
My favorite number.
Scott Egan. Thank you, Scott. So Scott has quite a few. Number 1, he says, HHN and kids are growing safety concerns. Very topical. Teens are showing up in record numbers at Halloween Horror Nights with zero supervision or accountability, and it's becoming a serious safety issue. They should be required to attend with a responsible adult who can be held accountable for their behaviour, and maybe they can provide some oversight to prevent issues. Do you know what? In all the times that I've been to Halloween Horror Nights, I have never had an issue with kids.
I haven't either, to be honest.
I have once.
Other than my own.
Well, that's your problem. I mean, really, get control of your kids, sir.
I try. Yeah, I've never seen any issues with unruly kids, honestly.
I had a group of teenage girls going through House of a Thousand Corpses a couple years back, and it was obnoxious but funny because these girls were literally falling on the floor and crawling away from the scare actors.
What?
Oh, it was hilarious in that aspect, and the scare actors are just like licking their chops, waiting to jump out at the kids. That was hilarious. But the problem was that they were also literally trying to climb up my back and onto my backpack and shove me into John, who was in front of me.
Oh,
And that was really annoying. Like I don't mind them being scared and, being goofy and everything. But what I don't like is when you're literally in that conga line and you're trying to shove me forward into other people and you're going to cause an accident and possibly hurt somebody. And that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, last week on opening weekend Sunday, I had a group of 4 teenagers behind me in line for Hatchet and Chains who we were not even in the house yet. And this kid is like bumping into me and just standing so close to me that he's like, we're just full contact. And so I turn around as we're like rounding the corner to walk in the door. I was like, hey, can you just give me some space, please? Thank you. Like, that's all. I'm not like, it's fine, but like, come on, like I'm standing here. You can, this is my spot.
Don't take my spot.
Right. I was worried that he was going to be mad and like retaliate and like, just keep bumping into me to annoy me.
Yeah.
And luckily, the rest of his group was so scared that anytime he was bumping into me, I could tell it was clearly because they were like pushing him forward. And I was like, okay,
right. Yeah.
And we're all having fun. So I turned around. I was just like laughing with him. I was like, yeah, they're getting us. This is good.
The only experience I've had was when we came over in 2022 and the kids had gone back to the hotel and Tracy and I were in line for Hellblock Horror because it was the queue that was in the sound stage, and there was a group of kids, like 16, 17 maybe, and it was one of them like dumb kids. You're being, but it was making me laugh. That was the thing, so I couldn't be too mad. So they were doing that thing of like just and then shouting.
Oh yeah.
What were they shouting?
And I was.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to bleep it out so no one knows anyway, but it
Why?
just...
That's just the proper term. It's not even like a bad word.
That's
like,
that's a medical term. That's
I don't
anatomical.
think you need to
I'm definitely
like,
bleeping it out now.
I mean...
Definitely bleeping it out now because I want everyone listening to not have a clue what it was. It was like, I get it, you big dumb kids at a horror event let out by your parents, but it was making me snigger, I must admit.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But yeah,
I'll be honest. I was a worse teenager at Halloween Horror Nights than I've ever seen as other teenagers be as an adult.
Strange, isn't it? Yeah, I've never experienced it, but I do hear a lot of stories of unruly teenies or drunken people, like unruly drunken people. I've never seen that either.
I haven't either. Not at Horror Nights. No. I mean, those drinks are so watered down. How the hell can you get drunk unless you're getting a double shot of whiskey like me at Finnegan's? But anyway.
Yeah, I will say how much alcohol or how little alcohol there are in those drinks. I remember coming over for the first weekender and meeting up with a friend of ours who bought us a Blinky cup, and we went into, I think it was Graveyard Games, and we still had like half of it left. I don't drink, so when I do, it doesn't take a lot, right? So we get to the entrance of Graveyard Games, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna have to chug that before you go in." So I'm like, 3/4 of it left. Chug, 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 chug.
Oh,
Nothing. I'm like, I didn't even get a slight buzz. Like, what a waste of time. I'm glad I didn't buy that drink. Thank you, Andy. By the way, I appreciate it. Here's number 2, Halloween Horror Nights. I don't know whether this is a hot take. I think a lot of people would agree with this. Halloween Horror Nights needs more houses. It's long overdue. The event has massively grown in popularity, but it's still stuck at 10 houses with no real crowd relief. It's time for more houses and high-capacity entertainment to match guest demand and improve flow, maybe 3 or more shows like the old days. Now, I agree with that, and I know, Kenneth, you talk about it a lot on Rush of Fear. I don't necessarily think it needs more houses, but more entertainment would definitely go down well.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think another show added would do more to help than another house. And also, where would another house go?
Yeah, I agree.
Bigger question.
And I think if you have another house, I don't know if it's going to like take care of the crowds. I think what they would do is just make the capacity larger and just sell more tickets.
I completely, because for how much it's going to cost them to put an extra house in, they need to see a return on that investment. And by spreading the crowds out, isn't that? So I agree with you, Amy, 100% there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
another show though.
Animal Actors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking.
Wasn't somebody talking about that recently?
Probably Kenneth.
Probably me. That's all I talk about. Yeah. Oh, like at Horror Nights the other night, I was talking about 2007 and what a great year it was, and I was thinking back and I was like, there was Bill and Ted, there was Brian Brushwood in Animal Actors, there was the Rocky Horror Picture Show in the Beetlejuice Theater, which doesn't exist anymore. There was the freak shows for Cirque du Freak in Central Park. And I was like, there were so many shows and things happening that just now you get the one stage show and the Lagoon show and that's it. And it's like, I feel like we need more.
Yeah. It's like when the first year we went in 2004, you had Bill and Ted, and it was in Islands of Adventure. You had Bill and Ted in the Toon Lagoon Amphitheatre. I don't think there was anything in Fear Factor that year. But then you had the Festival of the Dead parade, which we haven't seen a parade at Horror Nights for a very, very long time. That took up a lot.
There was nothing in Fear Factor?
I don't think so.
What year was this?
This was over in Islands.
2000. No, it was in both. 2004.
Oh, it was in both.
Oh, then you're right. If it was in Islands, then Bill and Ted was in the Toon Amphitheater,
yeah, it was, because that's the only time I've ever been in there. But yeah, there wasn't. So I think there was only actually 2. The Beetlejuice show was on in the Beetlejuice Theatre.
Oh, fun.
Like just the daytime show, but on during the night. And then the parade.
I wish I could have seen that. That would have been awesome.
I wonder if would be a way that they could use the Bourne Theater and just like put up a minimal set and like just a simple show that can just happen on the stage without using any of those like moving sets or whatever.
Yeah.
You can put whatever backdrop you want up on that screen.
It's a pretty decent
I was going
stage
to say,
as well.
you could even use those treadmills and stuff too.
Yeah.
You could do some really cool stuff with that.
Yeah, kind of the way they do the Purge version of the Waterworld show in Hollywood. Like they could do, I wonder if they could do like some sort of Halloween Horror Nights stunt show in the Bourne Theater.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that'd be so cool.
Well, I wonder if you could do like a Jack show in there or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been saying it for years. I don't understand why they don't do a scaled up version of the horror makeup show. It kind of lends itself to horror
That
nights.
would be fun too.
You could
That theater is really small.
It is, but it still would take some extra. It would take people out of the streets and out of the houses, and actually just like have some makeup artists showing how they showing off how they actually do the makeup for Halloween Horror Nights or something like that, but kind of make it a little bit more adult for Horror Nights. There's so many opportunities for it. It's like, I think, Kenneth, when you were doing the the early days of Horror Nights in those history episodes, they had like 15 shows on like 3 houses, and it's so bizarre that it's the opposite way around now.
Oh yeah, it was like one house and like 30 shows, but they were all like small little things, just like, like the lizard man would just show up
like
somewhere and do his show, which
could do with more stuff like that. I agree with that. His number 3, Epic Universe opening weekend, a mixed bag. Opening day felt magical, but the lack of promised fireworks, missing souvenir coins, and mishandled collectible park admission tickets left many guests, myself included, disappointed. I also regret not saying hi to so many of you that I probably walked right past. Being there on opening day, I didn't feel... I'm going to say I was in a very lucky position of having been to the media event for 2 days prior to that, so opening day was just a complete relaxed day for me, to be fair.
I can't speak to it because I didn't go until like I guess 2 weeks later. Like I think I went June 7th.
I know there was a lot of issue over those souvenir coins because we actually went in on the grand opening night, so the Wednesday night before opening. We asked about them and they're like, oh no, they're not coming out until tomorrow. So we go in on opening day and they're like, oh, they've all sold out. And we're like, we were in here last night and they told us they weren't even putting them out until today.
And they were already sold out by that time you asked.
Yeah. But yet, So I was annoyed, but not that annoyed, honestly. But I get it. And it did seem weird. I know it's one of Tracy's big bugbears. Like, we were lucky we got to see the full Lagoon show with fireworks and all of that, drones and stuff. But she still kind of is annoyed for the people that couldn't obviously go to that, who went opening day and didn't get to see that full Lagoon show. It felt weird that they only did it for like the media, but didn't actually do it for opening day guests.
They didn't?
Nope. You just got a Lagoon show. There was no fireworks, no drones. So upset. Yeah. It was weird.
That is weird.
I wonder if something happened and they broke or something. Do you think there was a malfunction or?
I don't know, because they were testing. So the night before, they were testing them because we were in our hotel room at Stella Nova, and the fireworks, they let fireworks off that night. So they did them like testing on the Tuesday night, then obviously media night Wednesday night, but then didn't do fireworks on the opening night. So I don't know. But I know from Seth doing little things that they only had a temporary platform for the fireworks and that they've been building a permanent one. I don't know whether you know anything to that, Kenneth.
Not really, no.
No. Look, Becky, you're going to find this when you go soon. That I'm never going to complain about that opening weekend because we will never see that park as manageable as it was that first 3 or 4 days. And I'm the same as you. I'm very concerned of what it's going to be like when we go in October, having seen it dead. Like, there was 6,000 people in that park on opening day.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Yeah. And the capacity is what, 50,000?
I am one of those people who avoided opening day because I was like, oh, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you. And then I saw how it was, and I was like kicking myself all day.
Well, look at as a podcast, Michelle, Tracy, and I were there. Chris didn't go opening day. Alexa said, do you want to get tickets for opening day? He was like, no, it's going to be a show. And he wasn't there. And they were like, oh, sorry, buddy. Well, you missed out, mate.
I thought you didn't invite him.
No, we invited him. Ignore what. No, do not
I'm
listen.
getting caught at the tiki bar.
Do not listen to what Chris tells you. He gets invited. Even if we don't officially invite him, the invite is an open invite and it's always there. But no, he said to her, like, no, I don't want to go. And
I know, I was thinking.
But yeah, I get the. Like, it's weird that they ran out of the collectible park admission tickets. We got ours, so you would assume they must have known how many people there was in there because they would. Yeah, because you could only buy. Hang on. You could still get the 3-day park tickets, couldn't you? So potentially they didn't know how many. Well, they still would have had a good idea of how many people were going to be there on opening day.
But that's just it. You have a park capacity, so why don't you have enough for at least park capacity at bare minimum?
But this is Universal. They always they always seem to It's like, look at pass holder magnets or buttons and stuff. They always run out of them. And it's like, you know how many pass holders you have.
Right.
Yeah, but that drives scarcity and encourages your pass holders to come in and get them in a way. And I'm not saying I'm a fan of that. I'm just positing the thought.
It's weird. I disagree. I had a fucking brilliant time opening weekend. Sorry. Number 4, he said the Helios Grand opening day, May 22nd, a premium price, zero premium experience. And I still want to sit down and talk to Michelle about her stay at Helios because I know she wasn't exactly glowing about it. He said, I paid top dollar for what was promised as Helios Grand opening, only to find the celebration had already happened during previews at a lower price. The preview guests got the coins, we got nothing. Love the hotel, is a great location, but the experience felt like a bait and switch. And I know from talking to Michelle, that was a lot of her issue with how they handled the opening of Epic Universe. That she stayed 3 nights at Helios. She had tickets for opening day and the next day and the next day. She did the VIP tour. She got express and didn't end up needing any of it.
Mm.
Yeah, that would be really upsetting.
Yeah, because the park had been open for 2 months at that point. So she spent all this money to be there for the opening and didn't really get to see any of the opening.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get that.
Yeah, that was weird how they did that.
Yeah, I think the Helios thing is a more valid complaint because I also know, like, my good best friend and bandmate Gary, he also booked originally opening night of Helios and was very upset about, like, what happened. Like, that should have been a test period and this is the grand opening, but they it was a little messed up, I think.
Yeah, but the fact that it's like, I get doing team member previews, that's fine, right? Team members should get priority on that. But then you open it to pass holders, and then you open it to anyone who happens to be walking past with their dog. Fancy going in? All right, then, cool. It's weird. It's like, I get they need people through the park to work ops out and stuff, but like, I would have been more than happy for it just to have been team members leading up to the opening, and then once it's grand opening, like, grand opening is people who really want to be there, who buy those tickets, and then move forward for that. But it didn't. I know Michelle's complaint was it didn't feel as special as it probably should have done, because like half the world's been by that point.
Yeah,
I mean, not quite.
I wasn't paying attention to this stuff when Islands opened or Animal Kingdom opened, so I don't know if they had opened those parks to the general public before the grand opening. I wonder how normal this is, does this always happen this way? So
I remember, I know Brian and Laura, friends of ours from, I'll give them a plug, the Universal Family Podcast, and I'm sure Chris did as well. Chevrolet or someone like that did a weird, like, sweepstake. I think Chris might have gone in, I want to say his auntie or his uncle or his mom or his dad or some member of his family because they work for Chevrolet, got, like, preview tickets for Islands of Adventure. And I know Brian and Laura went for a similar thing, that something to do with Chevrolet, that they got in before the park opened. So it was open to, I mean, I don't even know whether they'll have had annual passes at that point. So it was open to general public people who weren't just team members, but probably not like a month in advance. I mean, how was it, 2 months or a month? How long was it before?
I think team member previews started in like February, I think, maybe April.
Not like it was like 2 months of previews of various types.
Yeah. trying to
Strange, isn't it?
look back on some of my friends who went because they got invited for team member. I don't know. That's going to take forever. We'll just say February.
Yeah. But even if you say that the like pass holder preview started in March, that's still a good 2.5 months of.
Actually, pass holder previews didn't start until April.
Really?
So March.
Really? Yeah. Team member was March.
Okay.
Team member was March. Pass holders were April.
So like a good
Because
6 weeks then.
I forgot about March.
Yeah.
I skipped it when I was
March
going.
just disappeared from your calendar.
Yeah.
Right. Moving on. His number 5 is this. This is an interesting one. I think this is a hot take, unpopular opinion. It says Islands of Adventure has lost its spark.
Oh, no.
Hard disagree.
Ouch. No.
So he said the park once felt vibrant and spacious. Now it's overcrowded, underutilized, and losing its charm. It's time for a redesign and more shows to help absorb crowds and restore the park's original magic. I am going to say I don't disagree with him on that.
I think in a lot of ways it's a better park than opening, and in other ways, yeah, it is lacking in a lot of areas. Shows. There are no theater shows or indoor shows at Islands of Adventure right now.
Nothing.
And
no.
that's pretty inexcusable, I think. Like, you have 3 theaters just sitting vacant right now. That's crazy. And something should go in one or all of them.
I'd say all of them.
Yeah.
I agree. And you have a lot of people that are, that audition all the time that are willing to do these. I mean, I don't know if it's a budget thing or not because they were... But we can't say that because they've been empty like way before Epic came about. So you can't use that as an excuse either. So
I think the Toon Lagoon one is an interesting case because it's part of Toon Lagoon, but it's also kind of in this like no man's land between Toon and Marvel, where I think you kind of can put anything there, but also like it has to make sense in Islands of Adventure, and that's hard, especially like with IP. Like I feel like a non-IP thing, like the Matt Hoffman Epic BMX stunt show or whatever, like. That was cool. I saw that.
It did not fit there at all, though.
I mean, I liked it. I saw it, and I was like, "This is cool."
Yeah, but when you look at that park,
you could even put a Marvel stunt show in there. That would be awesome.
Wait, can they though with the contracting? That would be amazing.
Possibly.
But I don't know if they're allowed to now.
But that Matt Hoffman
if you stick
thing,
to the 90s characters?
Yeah, that Matt Hoffman thing, when you look, that park's supposed to be based on literature. Everything was supposed to be literary based.
I don't know how deliberate that theme is. I think that's accidental.
But it was still there, whether it was accidental or not. But how did Matt, even if it wasn't, how the hell does Matt Hoffman BMX thing fit in with everything else in Islands of Adventure? It really doesn't.
It's based on the assembly instruction manual for the bike.
I was going to say, maybe they had a comic book out at some point. That's literature.
Yeah.
I need someone to find out the novel of Matt Hoffman's Stunt Spectacular, whatever it's called.
Crazy freaking stunt show.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I think The Lost Continent is weird because it is in a themed land, and I think that it's, if you know that land is eventually going to get replaced, then it doesn't make sense to reopen a new show in a theater that has closed. So like you kind of have to wait for the whole thing to change. So like those I get. The Toon Amphitheater has been empty for like 15 years. That's crazy.
It's weird to think. When have you ever seen a major theme park, close all the rides in one land? And then not replace it recently? Yeah. You would never see. Everyone complains about Disney and how long it takes them to build stuff, but you've never seen them go, oh, do you know Fantasyland? We're just going to close all the rides in there. We're not going to do anything with it. They wouldn't. It's weird that they've closed every attraction. Not that there was a ton of attractions in there, but you had 2 major, a show and a decent people eater, to close them entirely and just have nothing in that land other than Mythos and Fire Eater's Grill. That's about it. Or Doc's Grooves.
Well, admittedly, there's like not a lot in Lost Continent.
Yeah, it was just the the show.
Was Poseidon's
There's the
Fury.
Sinbad show
And Poseidon's Fury.
Poseidon's Fury. At least those are the most recent.
Yeah.
And then originally like Dueling Dragons and Merlinwood and the Flying Unicorn, but then all that got swallowed by Harry Potter. Yeah.
It just seems really weird for them to close everything down and then still leave that land open. And it's like, when did Sinbad close? Was it pre-COVID?
I think it was pre-COVID. Yeah,
it was, because it was before Kong was even open.
That might have been like 2017.
Yeah. So that land has been half. They closed half the rides nearly 10 years ago. And then the other one, when did Poseidon close? Like 2 or 3 years ago?
Well, the thing is, though, you can't completely close that land because it's a major walk-through thoroughfare. You've got to have a connection back to Potter and everything else. The only way to go is through Lost Continent. There's no other way. Unless they started a major ferry service on the pond, which would be interesting, but inefficient.
Bring back island skipper tours.
That's a great point, yeah. I mean, they've built bridges into bypass stuff before. I suppose if you really wanted to, because the argument then is, what are they going to do when they do eventually retheme that land? Are they just going to put a corridor of walls up?
Probably.
I mean, they did do that when Hogsmeade was under construction.
True.
Well, look at Epcot, the last couple of years. That was just a maze of walls for a long time, too. And honestly, the future world has been half shut down for a while, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? You put those walls up, you build some boo holes into it, you got a good, daytime scare.
Oh, there you go.
Let's just do that. Halloween Horror Nights all year.
They took them out of Kong. They're not going to do that.
Hey, but if you're outside and it's not dark and scary, maybe people will be more open to it.
Maybe. But I agree with Scott. I used to adore Islands of Adventure in it, and I still like it, but it's probably out of the two parks, the one we visit the least now, because it for all they've added Hagrid's in there, but we barely ride it because it's always a stupidly long wait. I love Velocicoaster, but the rest of the park still feels very much like 1999 Islands of Adventure.
I think that Islands of Adventure is my favorite Universal park as of right now. And I think that if your focus is rides, it's the best one, because there are times that I forget that there are no shows because I'm not really a show person in the first place. So like if there are shows or not, my day isn't going to change. So I think the ride lineup of Islands has gotten way stronger since the park opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the other, like the supplemental experiences that have gone down. But for my personal taste, the ride's way more and the park is better overall. But I can definitely see the point of view of like, I want those other things that aren't there anymore. Like, yeah, that's a fair point.
I just feel like the park needs more balance, because I love the rides and everything in it, but I feel like I'm walking so much to get to those. There's no place, or very few places, to sit and relax or chill or do something when I'm not up for a thrill ride that day.
Yeah. I feel like it's, when you compare Studios and Islands together, the Islands has had major updates. So you look at Kong, Velocicoaster, obviously Potter, and then Hagrid's, whereas Studios has had more incremental changes, which makes the park overall feel different, whereas it's big additions to Islands, but this park still very much feels like it's rooted in its original form. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's, I don't know, it just...
It's a byproduct of the, single IP themed lands.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's your immersion. And is that then going to be a challenge for Epic?
Yeah, I was going to say Epic is going to run into the same problem in 25 years. People are going to say, but it's still the same. Well, I mean, they're going to add portals, I'm sure. But, it's like, man, Nintendo really hasn't changed much. Burke is still the same Burke, yeah, but it's good. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah. But the argument, it's easier for them if they wanted to switch worlds out in Epic, because you literally just close it off and do whatever you want, and you've still got... Whereas you're not walking through construction areas at Epic if they do want to change things out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's smart design, honestly, on their part.
Talking about how it gets dated, though, I mean, I'm going to use the D word again. If you're walking through Disney, I feel like there are a lot of areas. Everyone talks about how Disney is so great at theming. I think a lot of those rides are super run down, but people don't bitch about that all the time. And I think they just want to attack Universal, honestly. That's how I feel sometimes. And I think Universal's theming, hands down, as an overall, is just so much better than Disney.
Definitely now. Yeah, I agree.
It's just, and even, I know we're talking about Islands right now, and I think, what do you guys want to see in Lost Continent. I know the rumor was Zelda, but I don't know. Is there, like, what do you guys want to see?
I think Zelda would be awesome.
Tracy's adamant that Zelda's going into Epic Universe at this point because of all the little stained glass windows and hints and stuff around Super Nintendo World. But that's the rumor I heard. I don't know. It's weird. Like,
what about Pokemon?
Pokemon's supposed to be going into Pokemon's supposed to be going into Springfield.
That's right.
In Lost Continent.
I don't know.
I don't know Arcane. I know some of the characters. I see them at cons all the time.
I don't know if it has enough fan following. My daughter would be so happy, but I don't know. I don't know. That's so weird because it's such a pretty place, and I don't want them to completely get rid of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Six Flags still owns DC, right? So I don't think we could do like an Aquaman thing where like Poseidon's Fury used to be.
That would be
cool. Even separate from that, I don't know that they would want Marvel and DC in the same park.
Yeah, definitely not.
Marvel probably wouldn't allow them to either.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Zelda is my number one choice for something new, whether it's in Epic or Islands, it doesn't matter to me. My preference would be Lost Continent for it. I think that the retheme would be easy. Like you wouldn't really have to change the look of the area.
I agree.
You just, you can like tear down the Poseidon Theater or like gut it and replace what's inside. Like that looks like a water temple out of Zelda, like already. You don't really have to do a ton to the building to make it fit. So that's personally what I would do, but I also understand if they want to put it in Epic and keep all of Nintendo together. I mean, that's fine.
It makes sense.
I just want Zelda.
So question, and I'm not like deep in Zelda lore or anything, but I know there's a lot of games. Could you do something kind of like what Potter's done, where there's a Potterland in each park?
Oh.
Could you do one version of Zelda in Lost Continent and do another over at Epic?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
You really could do that. Because, Zelda...
The games look so different to me. Yeah. And, I grew up with the,
Well, even within those, like, any individual game, like, I imagine if they did Zelda, it would be based on the versions we've seen in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. And the maps in those games are so huge, and they have, like, distinct... like climates and areas. Like there's the desert, there's the volcano, there's a snowy region, like snowy mountains and stuff. So like you really could pick two. Like probably Kakariko Village and Hyrule Castletown would be like the two easiest like no-brainer areas that you would recreate because they basically appear in every game, no matter what else happens with the landscape. And they're not really close to each other, so it kind of could make sense for them to be in separate parks. I just don't know that Zelda is a strong enough IP to the general public that you would want it in multiple parks.
But does it need to be, though? Really? Like, we've talked about it with the Dark Universe. Like, how does the average person care about Universal monsters? Not really. I mean, the argument is that that's why the rides in that land are usually... Like, Monsters is arguably the greatest ride on the planet right now, and it's like a 15-minute wait most of the time. But
yeah, but also Monsters Unchained was the first ride in Epic Universe to reach 1 million riders.
That's very true.
So the line is short, but it also is the most popular ride in the park, and the capacity is so high that the line never gets long.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
And you do have a nostalgia factor with the monsters too. I mean, you're hitting a lot of different generations on that.
But then it's also like, we've talked about it a lot before, that you don't necessarily need to have any love for a franchise to make an amazing attraction. Look at the Bourne Stuntacular, for example. When they announced that, we were like, Bourne? Really? And it's amazing.
It's one thing for there to be a Bourne show, and there's another for there to be two Bourne-themed areas in separate parks.
But then you could argue Waterworld then. Waterworld is one of the biggest bomb movies of all time, yet it is the highest rated show in any theme park, and they've put it in Beijing and it's in Hollywood. There's rumors that it's coming over here when they build this one. It's like...
Well, but that speaks more to the show than the IP.
But that's kind of what I'm saying.
Zelda's coming. I believe firmly Zelda's coming, and I do think it's strong enough to be in the park. I don't think it's strong enough to support multiple areas in two separate parks.
All right, that's fair. Sure. Right, he has another one. I'm going to leave that one for the bonus show because I don't know whether I want to talk about that one on here right now. So I'm not going to. It's not controversial. It's just something in the current climate, as far as our podcast goes, I don't want to talk about that right now, so I'm going to save that one.
UUOP is brought to you by the Producers Club. Join today and get bonus episodes, chance to be guest host, be part of our awesome Facebook community, and more. Head over to uUOP.supercast.com to subscribe. Shameless plug.
Becky, will you pick me a number between 1 and 20, excluding number 13, please?
Ooh, 17.
Okie dokie, who have we got? We have Mr. Callum Duffy. Says, hey, Lee, Tracy, Michelle, and Chris. Substitute Kenneth, Amy, and Becky. He says, number 1, Iowa is home to the 2 best roller coasters in the world currently, Hagrid's and Velocicoaster.
It's hard to disagree.
Really?
Yeah. I like Hagrid's a lot. I think that's probably the best coaster. And I've ridden Velocicoaster several times, but I don't know. That and Stardust Racers. And I know this is my hot take. I don't think they're the best coasters. I feel like I feel kind of shaken up every time I get off them, and I don't feel like I've had like this great thrill. I'm like, why the hell did I get on that?
Which one?
Again, both Stardust Racers and Velocicoaster.
Oh my God! Sorry, Amy, you're breaking up. We're losing you. Sorry, bye. What was that?
I know. I told you, but I love Hagrid's though.
Oh my God, Stardust. Like, I've only ridden Stardust twice and I need to ride it some more, but that thing is amazing. Velocicoaster, I've ridden that thing at least a dozen times, and every time I get off it, I just go, what the hell happened again? Because it is phenomenal. And apparently, like, how smooth that thing is, apparently it was like Chris rode it for previews and he said it was even smoother then. I don't know how that's even possible.
That coaster is incredibly smooth. I love the first half of it. The second half, after the top hat, I'm kind of bored personally, but
I love all of it.
I love that first half of Velocicoaster. My
Longevity with Hagrid's is from a different point of view than you guys, because I'm assuming for the 3 of you on here will have never have done a drop track coaster before this one.
Nope.
That's right.
Nope.
So for us, it wasn't new. It's something I did at Alton Towers like 10 years ago. So I understand where someone who hasn't had that experience, like Hagrid's doesn't do anything new. It's kind of like Rise of the Resistance at Disney, where it doesn't do anything new. It just takes sort of the best bits of other theme park attractions from around the world and puts it together to make this one amazing attraction. I feel like Hagrid's is like that a little bit. I love Hagrid's, don't get me wrong, but I think I said this last week, or maybe earlier in this one, I don't know, my brain doesn't work as well anymore, that I rarely ride it because I will not wait that time for it. I rode it, we did a VIP tour as part of the media event in May, and I rode it then because it's like, I can get a walk on, hell yeah. But it also, I've said this before, that backward section makes me slightly nauseous and will put me out of action for a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's fair. I love Hagrid start to finish. I particularly the motorcycle part as a motorcycle rider, I absolutely love that because it just feels so realistic, and you get that awesome swoopy as if you're, on a really twisty road or something. And just the theming and feeling like you're flying through the woods. Like when you're on a regular coaster, a lot of times you're, surrounded by steel, and in this case you're surrounded by greenery and stuff, and that's just such a nice change, and it's exciting and it's fun. I personally, I don't like the long waits on Hagrid's, but I'll go at the end of the day and ride it in the dark.
And that is we've done that once at like 10 o'clock at night. It was an amazing, life-changing experience.
So good.
Yeah.
Just love it.
I think it's
go ahead.
Yeah,
Lee.
go on.
I think that yes, Hagrid's and Velocicoaster, I think, are the 2 best coasters. Stardust is great, but I think what's great about Stardust is the tracks interacting with each other.
Yes.
I don't think by themselves either of them are better than Velocicoaster. I just have to give an honorable mention to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. That ride is so much fun.
It is
and
really fun.
It might be like right there with Hagrid's and Velocicoaster, honestly.
Mission Breakout?
Yeah, I was just about to say, just so
Cosmic
people...
Rewind,
Cosmic Rewind, yeah.
I was going to say,
Cosmic Rewind is the coaster. Mission
keep your
Breakout
emails to yourself. We don't need them. Kenneth got it wrong. It's fine. He knows he rectified his mistake. It's cool.
Yes. Mission Breakout is a fine drop tower. Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios is better. But
Yes.
Cosmic Rewind is so good.
Cosmic Rewind is so fun. And honestly, listening to the train sing to whatever song happens to be on.
Oh yeah.
The last time I rode that, we had September. And
I got
listening
it
to the whole track, like I couldn't even hear what the characters were saying. I was just having the best time singing along with everybody else on the train.
It's just like a party. It's so cool.
Yeah,
it is.
I haven't done it. It does concern me, the spinning thing. I was all right on Curse of the Werewolf, but that's very,
you'll be
very
fine.
short.
You'll be fine on
really?
Guardians.
I don't think it's as bad as I think people weren't prepared for it initially.
Okay.
And I think now it's not as bad. Like I didn't see anybody get sick when we were on it.
Okay.
It doesn't really spin, it turns.
Yeah, it
Right.
more turns. It doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one to say, isn't it? Because like I haven't visited like many other theme parks in the US, so to say they're the two best rides in the world or the two best coasters in the world is a big statement.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like I listen to some other coaster podcasts. The Fury 365 is one that gets talked about a lot.
I will say this. I haven't been to all these like regional coaster parks in like, Cedar Point and Carowinds and Kennywood and all these parks over there in the Midwest. But having ridden a few roller coasters in Las Vegas, there is definitely something special and an art to the coasters of Universal and Disney parks and even SeaWorld. Honestly, like all the Orlando coasters are masterpieces compared to the trash that's in Vegas.
Oh, you're talking about that one like that goes around New York or whatever?
Yeah, the Big Apple coaster and then the two coasters at the Adventure Dome at Circus. Like rough.
Wow.
Oh gosh, yeah.
All right.
I can give you speaking of roller coasters real quick, I can give you a quick tidbit. If you come up to Six Flags in Gurnee, they have Batman the Ride, and it was actually the first hanging coaster.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it is an intense 45 seconds. It is absolutely awesome. And if you like coasters, come check it out.
I'm sure we'll check it out when we finally visit Chicago for Horror Unleashed.
Yes. Oh, and then you can come up for Fright Fest. They have a Fright Fest at Six Flags. But this is a Universal podcast, so
because I grew up in Georgia, and we used to go to Six Flags Over Georgia all the time. So I used to ride like all those coasters, and it was Batman that we rode, I think, and it was years and years ago. It was really fun though. But that's one thing. Universal doesn't have a hanging coaster. I think we need one. Those are really fun.
Because they got rid of Dueling Dragons, and if you liked Red Dragon on Dueling Dragons, you got to try Batman. I'm telling you. Back row 8 every time.
Interesting. Yeah.
I was a Fire Dragon type of guy.
I can't remember. All right, this one is a controversial topic, especially considering the time of year we are about to read this out. Callum, be prepared. There is too much coverage from podcasts and content creators for Halloween Horror Nights. I will add, this is from someone who has never been. And I kind of alluded to this on last week's show when I said about how much Halloween Horror Nights content there was, because I know a lot of listeners who don't listen from the months of like August through to October. And we've toned it down a little bit. That's kind of where originally the Dead Man's Digest came from, and then where Rush of Fear came from, of separating that content off. But it's like, me and Tracy still love Halloween Horror Nights. We still go. We want to talk about it. So it was kind of like... Yeah.
It's such a big part of the park, too.
Well, that's it. And that's it. It is the biggest Halloween event in the world. The biggest event at Universal Orlando. Why would you not want to talk about it? And it's like, when do you ever see a theme park do something to the level that Halloween Horror Nights is, that is a temporary thing that's up for 2 months, they take it down, it comes back next year, and it is entirely different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Because other theme parks that do scare things, SeaWorld does one that's kind of fun, and we go to that too, but it's not nearly the level of Universal, of HHN. I mean, just the Universal's just phenomenal. Yeah. And to say that it's too much coverage, I mean, I'm sorry, then I guess, I don't want people not to listen, but it's like, I guess, move on. I don't know, because that's what's going on right now at Universal. Yeah. I mean, there's no, that's the news. I mean,
I feel like you'd be doing a disservice to the resort to not cover it.
Well, that's what we started, like being, sorry, Kenneth, we, like when I started UUOP, I wanted to cover everything. And like we've said, Halloween Horror Nights is a huge part of Universal Orlando. Can you imagine if we didn't talk? Well, we don't like it, and a lot of our listeners don't like it, so we're not going to talk about Halloween Horror Nights. And people will be like, I'm turning you off then. We'd probably find that a lot more listeners would stop listening through August, through October, because like you're not talking about the event that I want to hear about, because it's that thing of I want to know what's happening before the event. I want to hear people talking about it during the event. And then when I've been and I come back, I want to immerse myself in it. Now I can't be there in still hearing people talk about it afterwards. And again, that's where Rush of Fear comes from, because you've got that all year round.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It would be, okay, so like when Epic Universe opened, it was the only thing anyone ever talked about on any theme park related media, because it was a big deal, a whole new thing. Halloween Horror Nights is that every year.
Yeah.
And it, you know, you don't hear as much coverage of like Universal's holiday celebrations because it's mostly the same year to year. But Halloween Horror Nights is 10 new houses and 5 new scare zones, or, you know, whatever new street experiences, the shows. How does it compare to last year? Like, it's the thing that's happening. That would be like, it would be like saying there was too much Epic Universe coverage. It's like, well, what else are we going to talk about? It's the thing.
There's too much Universal coverage on your Universal podcast. Callum, I am joking. It's right. It's like I feel guilty a lot of the time that we don't talk about the holidays as much, and we don't talk about Mardi Gras as much. But Tracy and I don't really... I mean, we've done the holidays twice now, and apparently she's had a fill of it. We're done with the holidays now. We're not bothered anymore. We want to do Mardi Gras. But again, like you said, other than the theme, Mardi Gras is pretty much the same every year. There's different food, booze, but other than that, and the concerts, the event's still pretty much the same. The same with the holidays. That's why Tracy's like, I'm kind of done with it now, because we went 2022 and then 2024, and it was pretty much the same event. Like, they don't really change anything.
The person who said this, like the hot take or whatever, and they said they've never been, is it because they just don't like Halloween? They don't like scary things, or they need to... I figure a lot of people that don't like scary things, that don't like that HHN, then they move on and they listen to people do the Mickey's Not So Scary thing. And because there's a lot of people that cover that. I feel like then... I don't know. I just think that's a weird hot take. I don't know. So it's Halloween
Horror Nights it's a theme park vacuum. You know, like it sucks all the attention because it's honestly it's worthy of it.
I understand if that's not your thing, why you wouldn't want to hear people talking about it all the time, and you probably would if you had a podcast that, like ours, for example. You're not a Halloween Horror Nights fan, and you pull last week's episode up, and I haven't decided. So we're recording this before that episode came out, but I haven't decided the title of that episode, but it's probably going to be Premium Scream and Horrors Unleashed, right? So you're going to, as a non-Halloween Horror Nights fan, you're going to pull that up, you're going to look at that title and go, yeah, I'm not listening to that. So I get it, but...
And that's fair, though.
But yeah, and as the longest-running Universal Orlando podcast, it would be wrong of us not to cover Halloween Horror Nights. And I don't think we cover Halloween Horror Nights as much as we used to, because we've got Rush of Fear, whereas we would do way more stuff running up to and including Halloween Horror Nights, because there was only us covering it then. Now we don't need to as much. So I don't think we cover it as much as we used to on UUOP.
And I think the hot take was all media outlets cover it too much. And I mean, same point goes. It's just like, well, if you're in the theme park space, this is the biggest thing happening, you know? It's the news. That's what the news is right now. And I'm sorry if that's not what you like, but to ignore it to minimize the coverage of it, it's like, well, let's try to find something else to talk about. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. It's like if you're a sports channel and it's during football season, like there's too much football coverage on your sports channel. Callum, I hope you're taking this with the humour that it's meant, but it's like, it's the same thing, isn't it? Oh, I don't want to I'm not a football fan, I don't want to hear about football. And you'll take that word football however you want to take it. If you're British, then you're talking about, so it's up to you how you take that, by the way. But it's like, there's too much football on your sports channel. Well, it's football season, so we're going to talk about football.
I'm sick of hearing about the Super Bowl. It's like, well, sorry.
It's the biggest sporting event on the planet right now. It's like the World Cup. No one cares about the World Cup. I'm sick of hearing about the World Cup. And it's like, well, it's going on now, so you're going to hear about it.
Exactly.
Oh, that was funny. I enjoyed that one.
I wish to go to Scotland.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Where can our vacation wizards take you? Just tap the port key at portkeyvacations.com and let the magic begin.
Kenneth, wrap us up. Pick us a number between 1 and 20, excluding 17 and 13. And don't pick one with about 20 different ones in.
I'll try. 9.
Number 9. Oh, it's a nice short one. So this is from Whitney Pop. She says her number 1 is only going to the parks for 3 or 4 days is enough. Hell no. That is the worst hot take, but that is definitely an unpopular opinion. No.
I agree. I mean, even before Epic, because now a lot of people are like, oh yeah, now that Epic's here, you can definitely take an entire week. We used to take an entire week before Epic, and we would just redo things. I mean, it was, I don't understand. I've never understood how people are like, oh, you can do Universal in 2 or 3 days. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you just want to rush through everything and not enjoy it, but we like our time there. So
yeah, that's the thing though. You can do those parks in 1, 2 or 3 days, but if you really want to see everything that it has to offer and experience Universal Orlando, of course you need as many days as you possibly can. Like you said, Amy, we're exactly the same. It's like we've been doing 2 week, so the last 3 or 4 trips we've been doing 8, 9 and 10 days and spending it all on Universal property, and for me it's still not enough. And I know I'm a little bit different because I'm doing this, so it's research, but it's 3 or 4 days, no.
Well, I mean, we've said it how many times? We've all been to the parks how many times? And there's still things that we have not done in these parks. We're still finding new things. There's, new stuff in windows that we never noticed before. Every trip we find something new. And that's half the fun of it. So it really depends on what you're going for and how involved you are.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. It's yes, everyone said. I grew up in Orlando. I grew up with Universal annual passes. So I know these parks as well as a person can know them. And
inside and out.
Yeah. And the way you get to know a place like that is, and if you don't live here, obviously you don't have this luxury of being able to just spend every weekend there and just go there not to do anything in particular. But the only way to do that, if you are visiting, is to spend way more days than you need. Because yes, you'll hit all the rides you want. Yes, you'll see whatever you want to do. But then you're going to hit that point where you're like, well, I guess now we're just existing here. And that's how you get to know the place. And that's where you get a real deep appreciation, is by just spending the days where it's maybe we'll do a ride or two, but that's not the point anymore. Yeah. We're just here because we like being here.
Yeah.
That goes to Becky, goes to our trip in December last year.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Tracy and I barely rode anything. And we just hung out with Becky and John and Grace and Bree and Kelly. And
was that when I was hanging out with you all too?
Yeah.
I think I was.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Because you came.
That's when I met Becky and John and a ton of the producers for the first time.
Yeah. And we just hung out at our favorite place on the planet. And it was honestly the best trip we've ever had. Even Tracy, normally she gets a bit peopled out sometimes, where we don't get time just to out. It sounds awful. I'm not, but sometimes we're taking
sometimes
a couple
you need a break.
Yeah, we're taking a couple of days on this next trip for just us, because we've barely spent any time over there, just the pair of us. Because it's part and parcel of what we do. That's fine, but even she came back and was like, "That is the best trip we've ever had." It was just like that night we did for her graduation and her birthday, where we met up on City Walk and we went into the bar in the escape room and then went to the Red Coconut Club. One of the best nights ever. Just awesome, just hanging out in a place that we all love. You don't necessarily have to be doing stuff all the time. And this takes me to what I've been saying about Epic Universe, that people are kind of saying it's a fail, because it's not the type of theme park where it's all about the rides. It's a much bigger experience that people aren't really understanding, I feel.
I agree.
I can say that.
I agree. People ask me sometimes oh, how is Epic? And I'm like, well, if you only care about rides, it might not be the park for you.
Yeah.
If you want to go and have a fully immersive experience and you want to explore and discover things, it might be the best park in the world.
Yeah. Completely.
That's the thing. I like a themed experience, and I realize that because you can go to any theme park and find a great coaster. Well, not any, but you know what I mean. There's several theme parks around the United States and the UK and all over the world that have decent coasters. If that's all you're after is thrills, then you're right. Epic's not the place. But if you want an immersive experience, or even just Universal as a whole, I mean, it's just, that's what it is. I just, there are times where I've had a day at work and then I just go, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to pop over to Universal for a couple of hours. And, my husband will go with me and he's like, don't you ever get sick of coming here? And I'm like, no, now my day just completely washed away and I'm in Diagon Alley and it's just the best thing in the world. And I just feel like all the cares are gone. So, and that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. It's Dawn on our Universal Great Britain podcast. She brings it up. Those parks that you're talking about, Amy, aren't theme parks. That's the difference. They're amusement parks, but people still call them theme parks. Disney and Universal and maybe SeaWorld to an extent, they're theme parks. And that's the big difference. Like a Six Flags or a Cedar Fair or whatever, they're amusement parks. They're not the same level. And that's what you get going to Universal, is that themed experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why 3 or 4 days is simply not enough.
What a
Amen.
Thanks for bringing that back around.
That's right, though. Her number 2 is Universal. This is an interesting hot take, unpopular opinion. Universal is a family park. Is it now?
I don't understand the hot take. I don't know. What do you mean?
I think because we've talked about it being like a teenager's upper park and not a full family park. Like there's not much for older people to do and there's not much for little kids to do, whereas they feel like there is. And it's like,
if you bring back the extra shows over on islands, it would help.
I love that Universal hate kids as much as I do, that they go, do you know what? You can bring your kids to the park.
There's a hot take.
Yeah. No, that's not a hot take. Everyone knows that. You can bring your kids to the park, but we're just going to give them this one little area out the way of everybody else.
So I kind of agree with her, though, because like I said, when our boys were, our middle son, he is 26 now. He turned 4 the first time we ever went to Universal. And then our oldest son was 7. So we, and this was before we had our daughter, who's now 20. Our very first kind of family vacation, we couldn't afford Disney at the time. And then Universal, I think we were able to do all 4 of us and stay at Royal Pacific with Express. And this was back, I think 2003. And it was only like $800 something. I mean, that's unheard of now for that entire vacation.
Yeah.
And then in tickets and everything. And it was because it was the first year that Mummy opened, because I remember they were doing some kind of like media thing when we went.
2004.
For the right. Oh, 2004 then.
Yes.
Okay. So we,
I think Mummy's 2000. Yeah, you're right. 4.
It was, because it opened not long before we came out for the first time.
So you guys came out the first time like we did. So we had boys, the young boys, and they were so ages 4 and 7. So the family take. I don't even think we used a stroller at all for the 4-year-old, and we had the best time, and we got to do everything over a span of a week, and that was when Jaws was still there and everything. I mean, I don't feel like they were lacking. I mean, we always said, I think it was because they just loved X-Men and Marvel, and just like we've always loved that, and that could be what it is. I mean, maybe if you have a little girl that loves princesses and they want to do Disney, that's different, but I didn't feel like it was lacking the family feel. They had plenty to do.
I'm sorry, repeat the hot take. It's that it is a family park, or that it's not?
It is.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what you do. I mean, again, it's planning your day. I mean, it can be all of the above,
I feel that Epic is more of a family park than the other 2. I feel like there's more attractions with lower height restrictions than there are at the other 2 parks.
Yeah, and there's more non-ride things to do than there are at the other parks.
Yeah. I think Universal tried to get into the proper family market like Disney did about 10 years ago. And then they realised that this isn't our thing. This isn't why people come here. And that's why you've got Velocicoaster and Hagrid's and things like Stardust. That it still has... Maybe it is a family park. I don't know necessarily. I mean, we were kind of in the same boat as you, Amy, when we came over. Our youngest was 5 and we didn't use a stroller for the entire time. There's a picture of our youngest in the character breakfast in Confisco Grill on our last day, and I swear to God, it looked like they died a week ago.
Oh, God.
And we never really struggled for anything to do. Obviously, there was a lot of sort of, when we went to go on coasters, it was like one and the oldest and then the other and the oldest. So the oldest got to ride twice and the youngest just kind of had to stand around and not do anything with the other parent who wasn't riding. And I think I think Epic is more going back down that route a little bit. I don't know. It's a strange hot take, isn't it?
Yeah, because to call this a hot take would mean that you assume that most people would say that Universal is not a family park.
I still think it has that edge, though.
I don't think that's true. Like, what's the evidence of that? Yeah, there are thrill rides, but there's also DreamWorks Land and Minions, like it is a family park.
Yeah, but that's just two areas.
More to the point, when you look at Disney, most of the rides are much more family friendly. The ride heights typically are lower, so more of the family can ride more of the rides. Whereas if you look at Universal, the ride heights are typically higher, and you have these areas for the kids, but the rest of the park isn't as friendly.
No.
And I realize that's grading on a scale, but I think that's where the differentiator comes in.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What's weird, though, is like Peter Pan is basically the same ride
as E.T.
Right? And so are they different height requirements, though? Because I feel
I think Peter Pan
I think they
have a
are,
height
actually.
requirement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Interesting. I don't...
Yeah, because
that's
you
an
got to actually
interesting one.
sit on the bike on ET, where Peter Pan's just like a bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like, I think it's about the restraints and like how the seat is situated.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
So moving on to the penultimate one, she says, Flight of the Hippogriff should have a warning label for kids. I'm going to go one step further. I think Flight of the Hippogriff should have warning labels for adults as well.
Yes, lack of knee room.
And just when that thing stops at the end, that break, Jesus Christ.
Brace yourself, yes.
What kind of warning label? There are like the safety and health notices. Every ride has a warning label on it.
Yeah, that's interesting. What does she mean, a warning label for kids? Whitney, get in touch. We want to know what specific warning label you think this should have for kids. I mean, I agree with you because it's bloody violent and, yeah, it's interesting, but...
I think it should have a knee pad warning. If you're over a certain height, make sure you wear knee pads for that stop and getting in and out. I mean, good gracious. I love it. But.
I can't believe I waited 45 minutes for that thing last December, and it just goes to show the group of people I was with that made that line go so much quicker.
It did. That was fun.
Breakfast at the 2 OG parks in the Wizarding World is trash.
Whoa!
So by your 3 reactions, I'm going to jump in first. Whitney, I completely agree with you. Sorry, guys.
To be fair, I have not had breakfast in the Wizarding World in years. So probably not since Hagrid's opened. I think is the last time I had breakfast because we got there before Hagrid's opened, and we said, "Well, I guess we'll have breakfast."
Yeah, fair enough.
I've always enjoyed it though. I thought I remember it being really good.
I actually seek it out because they will actually do is it gluten-free
pancakes,
waffles or something,
they do
or pancakes.
Yeah, because
I'll
goes
actually
crazy about them.
seek it out for that purpose.
Yeah, Kayla talks about the gluten-free pancakes at the Three Broomsticks on Taste of Universal all the time. Yeah.
Yes, they are good. They're very good.
That's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I always get the English breakfast just because I want to try to be as authentic. I know it's not.
It's not authentic at all. No,
it's not.
It really isn't. I don't know. I used to really like it.
You guys don't really have butterbeer with your breakfast?
Unfortunately, not. No.
Every day I do. What are you talking about? No, I'm just kidding.
I used to really like it, and then we went with friends. It's probably a good 6 years ago now. Oh no, it's 2020. So literally just before COVID, and I sat there and I think it was the American one, and I'm like, this isn't pleasant. I'm not enjoying this breakfast at all. And it's, I don't know, theme park breakfasts, let's be honest, aren't the best at the best of times. It's like, your sausages are a bit weird. I don't like breakfast potatoes. I know Tracy would, if she was here, she'd slap me around the back of the head at that point. I don't get potatoes for breakfast. It's weird. I don't know.
I don't think I've had the American breakfast there, but I mean, it's a British restaurant. It might not be authentic.
I mean, all right.
Oh my God. That's so much.
I mean, none of it's authentic, to be fair. And don't even get me started
this is what real American breakfast is like.
Don't get me started on the shepherd's pasty pie.
I've never tried that one.
Because it's wrong. The name of it's wrong. I didn't pull Shelby up and she goes, right, so it's shepherd's pie in a pasty. So it should be a shepherd's pie pasty, not a shepherd's pasty pie.
I get it.
Okay.
And it drives me up the wall that that's what they call it, because it's not true.
They're lying.
They are. It's not. Well, anyway. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the breakfast at the I haven't been to the Leaky Cauldron in a long time, actually, and we haven't had breakfast there. But 3 broomsticks, yeah, no.
I imagine the breakfasts are probably the same, if not very similar.
Probably.
I mean, at least now USF has Today Cafe, so like there are other breakfast options, but for a long time, like there just weren't really breakfast options in either park. Like not a really good one.
No.
Like those are kind of the first breakfast menus in the parks, and I think it's maybe still. I guess Croissant Moon exists, but I feel like that's not
Never been in there.
It's not as
quite a few times
built up as Today. Today Cafe is like, they really overhauled that and they did a good job.
And then you want to go over to Epic. Oaken Star is the shining light for breakfast in that park. It's amazing.
I need to go get it.
I have to try that. Oaken Star is in Monsters, correct?
No, it's in Celestial Park.
Oh,
it's in Celestial between Super Nintendo and Monsters.
We went opening day and I got like a cheese, egg, and bacon sandwich. Oh my God, it was amazing. It was amazing.
It's like just to the left of the Dark Universe portal.
It's so good. So good.
Our first stop is Dark Universe when we get there, so I'm just going to...
Yeah, and the Plastered Owl.
Scouting without getting in too deep.
Shout out to the Plastered Owl for Tracy. She loves it in there as well, so yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it's great in there.
Yeah.
I want Dust Steakhouse to offer breakfast, and it can be Dust Steak and Eggs House.
I love that!
Kenneth.
That'd be awesome. That'd be so fun.
Right, well, that's going to wrap up this podcast. Thank you, everyone, who sent in their hot takes, unpopular opinions. I really like these because you never know what you're going to get. And you never know where the discussion's going to go. Exactly. That's what I love with Kenneth. You talked about it with Big Dumb Stuff. Like, UUOP is usually quite structured, so doing an episode like this is just free for all because we never know what's going to come up and where the discussion's going to go. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you for stepping in for Tracy, Chris, and Michelle. They hopefully will be back next week. But Kenneth, of course, plug your podcasts, please.
Of course, right here on the UUOP network. If you like Halloween Horror Nights and you don't think there's enough coverage of it, then you should listen to Rush of Fear podcast, where we only ever talk about Halloween Horror Nights. And also, I have a brand new show. It's a few weeks in here, and we're trying to do weekly releases, at least for the time being. But it's called Big Dumb Stuff. That's me and my best friend and roommate, Kyle. And it's literally anything goes. It's just us talking about all the dumb stuff we like, big touristy, kitschy stuff.
I want your name for cocktails, that whole thing, to become an actual thing, like a legitimate internet phenomenon. If people
it's really hard for me when I'm out in a group and I hear someone say, "Ooh, I'm gonna get a cocktail." I have to hold my tongue and try to remember, I don't want to seem like a crazy person.
No, because that would be weird if you just went over to some random person and said that. Yeah, it would be odd.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Amy and Becky. Of course, it's been awesome having you both on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having it. It was so much fun.
Cool. That is going to wrap up the podcast. And don't forget, we want you to rate the Freeze Ray Pops and send in your recordings, as well as sending us your How Bad is Fast and Furious Supercharged jokes, and also your Halloween Horror Nights 34 house rankings from 10 to 1. You could send all of that to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. But for all these guys, we will see you next week.
That's the end of another Stella episode of UUOP. Use the Flu Network to give you access to us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. And check out our blog at uuopodcast.com for everything else. Send your owls to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, jump down the warp pipe at uuop.supercast.com. It's alive on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else the podcasts are found. So please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can. Dragons aren't the only way to get around. Email Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. Listen to them, Children of the Night, the children of the UUOP network. Rush of Fear, Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info, the Taste of Universal, Universal Orlando food podcast, and the Portkey Passport, an adult-centric Disney podcast. Make sure to subscribe and come back next week because in the end, it turns out all we needed was a little more of this.